Thank you guys for the 15,000 subscribers. I'm so glad that you're here. Today I figured I'd reintroduce myself and share with you how I went from dropping out of college at North Carolina A&T to selling cars, then into flipping houses and having millions of dollars worth of houses. Now, the coolest thing about this story is that I was just like everyone else. I mean, I didn't necessarily know anybody that had done anything like this, what we're doing right now. When I was a child, most people were doing normal, post office jobs, teacher jobs, praying and wishing and hoping for checks to come to their mailbox, not necessarily controlling the amount of the money that they want to make, controlling the time that they have, or just going outside of that normal, I have to get a job and starting a business. So today I want to share with you guys the progression of how you can go from your 9-to-5 job to replacing your income with real estate profits. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Sawand Belcher. This is me taking action right here on YouTube. If you're new to the family, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. We typically talk about how to make as much money as possible during a 30-day period of time while you cherry pick the very best houses for yourself. Now, all of the strategies that we're using are wholesaling real estate investing, buying rentals and keeping them long term. We're using the BRRRR strategy by renovating them, renting them out, and then we're refinancing them out. And then we're also raising private money to do different kinds of deals. And we're also doing creative deals where if we don't have any money or don't have any credit, we're taking over payments or allowing the seller to make money with us by becoming the bank on the deals. And that's what we teach right here on the YouTube channel. Now, I've been able to do this successfully full time over the last 7 years and consistently making over $250,000 a year. Right now, I'm actually more than that. So I'm grateful to be where I am and sharing my story with you guys so that way you can learn and take from what I've gone through. I contribute every day that has happened to lead up till now. So I don't take none of it for granted. I mean, I went to North Carolina A&T. Shout out to the blue and gold marching machine. I marched tuba. And the second year I was about to march, for some reason, I felt like, why do I have to go through this again? Why do I have to go through a month-long band camp? Why do I have to go until midnight, marching with this, 60-pound instrument? Can I just make money? Because my freshman year in college, I was broke, So instantly, for some reason, I quit the band and started working at the call center at my college. Now, for some of you all, you might be in college right now. Okay, actually, stats say that about 25% of you all are actually in that age of being in college. Okay, what I did at that time was I worked for the call center, and we would call out to alums of the college, and we'd raise money for the school. And I was good enough at that to where I became the supervisor and came up with incentive plans to help those students that we hired. I even hired a lot of those people and helped raise money for the schools. And believe it or not, I didn't even know that I was raising money. I just thought like, hey, I'm making money working with one of the student jobs on the campus, and hey, it is what it is. I moved into working as a server, and then as as like a stewardess or like I don't even know what you would call it, at a hotel, at the Old Henry Hotel, which was one of those prestigious kind of uppity, got all of the wood grain and whatnot, and they'd have the big parties and whatnot, the galas and whatnot. And so you learn how to talk to those kind of affluent people, those people that have businesses, those people that have influence. They have employees, they're managing teams. And so I didn't even know at that time, meeting those people and talking to celebrities like Erykah Badu and Bill Cosby and Sinbad and those people, that was grooming me to learn how to talk to strangers, how to be uncomfortable with saying hello, saying hi, learning how to keep conversations going. And then that led me into car sales, which really put the pressure down on your boy. Okay. Under that leadership, I learned how to endure pain or endure sacrifice to get what you wanted. being willing to sow the seed, right, and then fertilize that soil so that way you can grow a harvest, not in 1 year, not in 2 years. I didn't start really having real big success in the car business until like my 3rd year, which is dope. And that's when I found, buying houses. My finance manager kicked me out of the dealership one day, made me go over to the bank and get qualified for a loan. And that's when I bought my first house that I ended up renting out. The itch got so bad, I got engaged to my girlfriend at the time, my wife now. And then we bought our next property off market, got another bank loan for that one. Third one came just a couple months after that one, but I couldn't get another loan because of DTI. And that's where I found wholesaling real estate, selling paper, assignment contracts, double closes, creative finance. And it's all because I was willing to bear that hardship that I was going through. When I got that deal on the contract, that was the first deal I had got without a realtor. That was the first deal. I took that purchase agreement over to my bank, and then they said, no, we're not going to do it because of debt to income. You see, when you're qualifying for a traditional loan, you have to show tax statements proving the amount that you made and that you don't owe the IRS money. You'll have to show proof of income, like a W-2 stub, showing that you pay taxes, you have health insurance, you have a 401k, those kinds of things. And then you have to show a savings account of at least 6 months of your expenses or more, and then be able to show that you have that down payment money as well. And going through that transition of buying those 2 houses, I didn't at that time. See, I was able to get the second loan because the first loan we rented out. The first house we rented out. So that paid for the second house. And since we lived in the second house, I couldn't get the third loan because of debt to income ratio. That was my daughter right there saying peace to me. But anyway, I work from home. So if you guys want to work from home, this is for you. And so at that point, I went to the altar at church, asking God for an answer because I was emotional at the time. And Mr. Cox told me about, hey man, you can sell the paper. That led me to the local Real Estate Investors Association, where I sold my first contract for $5,000. On average, I was making at the dealership, $7,000 to $7,500 a month. So to make $5,000 in 2 weeks, doing way less work with way little time, that really got my wheels turning, and it got me curious about this contract flipping, this house flipping business. And see, most people think that I was always a wholesaler, but really I started by buying. And that's where the magic really comes into, because yes, I did wholesale that next one, but my next one was a creative financing deal. I bought a lease option. I actually bought 2 lease options from one seller, the same guy that told me about the RIA. Okay. See, a lease option is where you make an agreement with the owner to promise to buy the house sometime in the future. Some people set it up for 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. I never suggest doing it longer than that. Okay. But you give them an option fee, a down payment that says, hey, I'm locking it in. And sometimes that could be $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, or whatever they would agree to. And that will lock your buy-in for the next 3 years or however long you guys agree to. Now, your job is, once you get that lease option on the contract for yourself, your job is to make the rent payments and take care of the maintenance on your own. It's to get ready for the end of that contract so you can refinance or so you can sell the property. See, when you have that property under contract, what I found out at the time is, because you have the property under contract, you now can sell the house because you have the intent to own it. So that gives you the right to do what you want with it. And that was like really peculiar, because in a lot of different games or a lot of different investment strategies, you actually have to spend the money first in full, in totality, whatever that word is. You have to actually spend that money in full. Okay. But with this real estate business, it was just get control of the property and then figure out what you wanted to do. My next 20 deals was all taking over somebody else's mortgage, and which was mind blowing to me. See, what gave me the idea was, number one, this guy is Ron LeGrand, and more so my boy Bryony Rigbo down in Texas talked about taking over mortgages. See, when I had bought those first 2 houses with mortgages, the 30 days later after I bought those houses, I got letters from the bank that said, hey, we're selling the mortgages, so don't pay us, go pay these people over here. That was the first realization that that kind of thing was possible. The second realization was hearing Ron LeGrand, more so hearing this, younger black guy, Bryony Rigbu, talk about taking over mortgages, that the deed could change, the owner could change, but the deed of trust, the mortgage, could stay the same. And so I exploded my business at that point between wholesaling and subject to deals, where I was able to have about 5 or 6 different rental properties, and I was able to make about $60,000 to $70,000. And so at that point, I really started to contemplate, why am I here at the dealership making $85,000 to $100,000 a year, but I was able to do in just about 6 to 8 months almost that same amount. So if I took more of my time, because I'm working 50 hours a week at the dealership, right? If I was able to take more of my time and put into this real estate thing, if I was willing to drain my 401k to use as an investment, just maybe I could turn around this for myself. Now, between building up a team, putting together systems, a CRM, setting up strategic marketing like cold calling and direct mail, and doing physical signs and online ads, I was able to scale up in just 2 years to over $500,000 in real estate transaction profits, while I had about 14 or 15 rental properties. Now, the next realization came about a year after that, and I was up late at night thinking about all of the things that we were doing, and I was just feeling a grateful standpoint, but also I wanted to grow. But I never wrote out all of my rental properties. I managed my rental properties, but I never wrote out how much I paid for them, how much rent I'm really getting, like the net, how much the properties were actually worth versus what I actually owe on them. And that night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever year that was, I realized I was a millionaire. And at that point, that made me feel different, because I knew if I could hit $1 million in real estate properties, then I knew I could hit 2 million. I knew I could hit 3 million. I knew I could hit 8 million. And that was really just the start of my journey to where I'm here now. So on this YouTube channel, we actually talk about how to go out without any of your money, without any of your own credit. Because as real estate investors, we can't always use our own money. We have to have access to money. We have to learn how to use deals. We have to learn how to use our brain to come up and get control of these deals, so then we can turn around and make a profit. I've made $150,000 on one deal, and so on this channel, I teach you guys how to do just that. I don't necessarily want you guys to have to always depend on investing $10,000 or investing $20,000 just to learn this skill. I do these videos so that way you guys can come into the realization that you can do it. I try to give you enough information where you can actually apply it and use it in your market. And then if you would like to get one-on-one help with it, you can actually reach out to me after you've kind of dipped your toe in the water, okay, and said, oh, well, I like this. I made a little check. Let's get into this. So if you guys want to get into marketing direct to seller, negotiating real estate deals, and changing your life, I'm talking making an easy $250,000 or more, easy to make $250 in this business. I'm going to leave this little sales training over here, this one-on-one call that I did years ago, that will be very, very helpful to you about what you will say to motivated sellers when you're talking to them and right before you get the deal on the contract. See you guys on the next one. Peace.